turning radicalized individuals away from extreme ideologies and helping them rejoin Canadian society is a key goal of the federal government, but it has little data on how well that fight is going. The new Canada Centre for Community Engagement and Prevention of Violence is supposed to be on the front line of this fight. It funds research and programs that aim to prevent and counter radicalization to violence at the individual level. But the government doesn't know how many radicalized people are actually being spoken to, or who they are. Public Safety Canada says it can't provide statistics because the centre does not directly intervene with radicalized individuals. Moreover, the groups the centre funds tend to focus on research over action. "My fear is that we're almost researching this thing to death," said former CSIS officer Phil Gursky, author of the book Western Foreign Fighters. 6 projects are paid for by a public safety fund through the Canada Centre under the heading Action-Oriented Research. None carry out interventions with radicalized individuals. 4 more projects fall under the heading of Direct Intervention/Prevention Programming, but it remains unclear why they are categorized as such. 2 offer training programs for the Ontario Provincial Police, a third backs a series of expert roundtables on the use of social media, and a fourth, Project Someone at Montreal's Concordia University, promotes the use of social media and art in schools to build awareness and resilience, combat online hate speech and create space for dialogue. In September, Public Safety Canada gave Project Someone $367,000. Gursky said he is troubled by the mixing of counterterrorism and deradicalization with efforts to fight discrimination and hate speech. The vast majority of hateful people, and there's lots of hateful people online and lots of hateful people in Canada, are not terrorists. I think it's wrong to treat those things as the same even for research purposes. Vivek Venkatesh, Project Someone's director, told CBC News that his work does relate to jihadi-inspired terrorism. "What we're doing with the analysis that we've conducted is, in fact, build a series of podcasts and counter-narratives through art-based pedagogy and poetry to empower the broader population in understanding how ISIS is using and abusing religious interpretations." But Venkatesh has an unconventional outlook on the problem of terrorism, telling CBC that jihadi terrorism is not the main terrorist threat facing the West, although he didn't say which groups or ideologies are. Go to the Global Terrorism Index and look through the major terrorist organizations and which countries are affected by terrorism in the worst ways, and whether jihadism, as you're calling it, is in fact the biggest plague that the Western world is perceiving right now. The GTI, based on data collected at the University of Maryland, lists 19 of the world's 20 most deadly global terror acts in 2016 as having been carried out by groups inspired by Islamic fundamentalist ideologies, and the 4 groups it lists as the deadliest in the world are all jihadi groups: ISIS, Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. It says 3/4 of all Western terrorism victims since 2014 were killed by people directed or inspired by just one jihadi group, Islamic State in Iraq and Syria.